This video was sponsored by Atlas. Waste! Like many of you, I am afflicted with a condition characterized by elevated levels of hype. It's very common in the gaming space, unfortunately. Very tragic. Every year, there are so many new games to look forward to that it can be difficult managing hype. But I've found that even if I can't cure this ailment, talking about it helps. That's why I'm here now to share with you the 10 games I'm most hyped to play in 2024, so that others out there know they are not alone in their struggle with this terrible disease. Without further ado, let's hit the road, man. I'm a little surprised to be putting Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 on this list, because I'm not actually a huge fan of the first game. The combat is simple, yet really satisfying. The performances are incredible, the presentation is impressive, and of course, the overall concept is very unique. A character suffering from psychosis, but in a fantasy setting, voices constantly following you, commenting on the world around you, feeding you bits of story, and you never quite know what's real and what isn't. So cool. But the game is also extremely repetitive. There's very little combat variety, and you do the same exact kind of puzzle over and over and over and over and over again ad nauseum, which makes a rather short game feel somehow far too long. Despite all that though, I am 100% going to play Hellblade 2. That's because the impressive elements of the first game are just that impressive, and this one is clearly leaning into them harder than ever. Ninja Theory is now owned by Microsoft, and it appears that their budget is much higher this time around. Even just the small bits we've seen in trailers look incredible. The line between cinematic and gameplay is getting very thin. I'm definitely hoping that my issues with the first game are addressed here. Some more varied gameplay would be very welcome, and they've been working on this for so long that I feel fairly hopeful they'll deliver. Even if not though, I just want to see how pretty it ends up being. I'm mainly in it for the art aspect, really. I'm sure it'll be an experience worth having, at least once. The Plucky Squire charmed the heck out of everyone when it was first revealed. How often do you watch a trailer that instantly sells you on a game? I mean, within seconds. And this game managed to sell me with not one incredible visual style, but two? This is a storybook come to life, but then the character also runs around the room in 3D, and he's a cute little Link-looking guy with a sword? Come on, come on! It was love at first sight. The creator used to be an art director at Pokemon, and his penchant for characters shines through very brightly here. The whole project oozes cuteness, quaintness, coziness. Yes, it is disappointing that Plucky Squire was delayed into 2024, but you know what? 2023 was packed enough. I'm actually kind of glad I've got this to look forward to in the new year. This is one indie to keep your eye on. A while back, I played a little of the first Dragon's Dogma. I didn't get to really sink my teeth into it before life got in the way, but I could tell that this was some good stuff. It's got that gritty, Japanese-flavored, Western-style dark fantasy vibe I love very much, and a fascinating world that's just begging to be explored. And the combat, it is extremely satisfying. Ever since playing it, I've wanted to go back and give it a proper go, but I just can't seem to make it a priority. But now my problem has solved itself. I don't need to play it. Capcom is making a sequel, and it looks really good. If the trailers are any indication, Dragon's Dogma 2 is the same thing again, but more and better. And sure, maybe I'll miss out on some stuff by not playing both games, but I'm more than happy to simply wait for the sequel and play that instead. That way I know I will experience the best possible version of this formula. And I just can't wait to assemble an all-star team of weird, soulless slave people to fight magical creatures with me. If 2023 taught me anything, it's that being hyped for a game simply because of the team working on it doesn't always turn out for the best. However, that simply does not stop me from doing it. I seem to be incapable of being any other way, and that's why I am very excited for Avowed. Obsidian Entertainment created what is widely regarded as the best modern Fallout game. Then they made Outer Worlds, which was essentially their own spin on the Fallout formula. Now Avowed is their take on Elder Scrolls. Well, you see, I love me some Fallout and Elder Scrolls, and I am jonesing for a good, open-world, dialogue-heavy RPG in a similar vein. Especially since, well, you know, it doesn't always turn out for the best. We haven't really seen a lot of Avowed, and honestly, what little we have seen didn't really grab me. They didn't do a great job of showing off what the game has to offer in the latest trailer, and I'm not really a fan of the art style. I also know nothing about the Pillars of Eternity universe, and most honest of all, this game was revealed so long ago that it takes more effort than I would like to maintain my hype levels. However, a lot of caveats in this one, but however, the idea of what the game could be still means something to me. That pedigree means something. Obsidian, I'm still digging your scene, but you gotta deliver next year. I can't take another not turning out for the best. You ever wait for a sequel for so long that you just kinda stop waiting? So much time passes that it becomes clear the creators of the first game just plain aren't interested in doing another one. Because that was me with World of Goo. We're talking 15 years here. It reached a point where I had long assumed a follow-up was just never coming. The team had completely moved on. So watching the 2023 Game Awards and seeing that trailer after so long, it was like coming home. It was like seeing a dear old friend that you nearly forgot you even had. It's been so many years. A complete and utter surprise. You might have already heard me talk about World of Goo in my somewhat recent Top 10 Wii Games video, but this was one of the very first indie breakout hits ever. It started a tsunami of physics-based puzzlers, especially on the mobile market, the ripples of which can still be seen today. It's perfectly designed, endlessly fun, wonderfully funny, and effortlessly stylish. But the concept as a puzzler also has so much room for growth. So I can't wait to see what the team comes up with, especially after they've had so long to think about it. Animal Well raised my eyebrows the second I laid eyes on it. Yes, I have eyebrows. It's so much of what I love mashed into one package. A Metroidvania format that is described as labyrinthian. A relatively minimalist yet expressive pixel art style. A dark, moody atmosphere. And animals. Spooky animals. It's actually hard to talk about this game because I'm trying not to see too much footage. I already know I want to play it very badly, so I've been avoiding trailers and stuff. I even met the creator at PAX, but didn't play the demo, even though I was sitting right there, because I'm just that set on enjoying the whole thing once it's out. Golly, it does look good though. Mechanically, it sounds terrific, super creative. But more than anything, I'm eager to just see all the weird stuff, you know? I love weird games. What kinds of spooky animals will I find? Creepy cats? Languishing lemurs? Fallen horses? I'll find out next year. Donkey, you better deliver or I'm coming for you. Before we continue, a quick reminder that this video is sponsored by Atlas. Everyone's been begging me to play a Persona game. And look at that, I finally did it, I'm doing it. I'm playing Persona. I've been playing Persona 5 Tactica, and despite not knowing anything about this world and these characters going in, I'm having a great time. This is a cover-based tactics game, so it's all about positioning and exploiting vulnerabilities. There's this really great system where you can open up extra moves and chain a bunch of attacks together, and in addition to your fancy Persona moves, you can do these big group attacks. They're really cool. It's a very flexible system and really encourages aggressive play, which is refreshing for the genre. In any given situation, you've got a ton of options and tools at your disposal. The game's got all the supporting features you could want, skill trees, weapon upgrades, and you can even collect and fuse personas like in the other games. So far, it seems like a really well-designed and enjoyable experience, and if you're into Persona 5, I'm sure it's great catching up with all these characters. There's loads of story and dialogue stuff. Persona 5 Tactica is available now on all major platforms, and you can click the link down in the description to learn more. Thanks again to Atlas. Now back to the video. Who's there? Who is that? Is that an original character starring in a brand new 3D platformer? Such a rare and beautiful event. And I tell you, Penny's Big Breakaway is yet another indie to watch. It looks so colorful, so vibrant, so lively. Plenty of games try to emulate the 90s style, but this one feels like it jumped right out of the cover art for a Sega Saturn game or something. It's nostalgic while still feeling fresh and unique. And the gameplay, any 3D platformer is gonna get my attention, but this is the kind of gameplay that I take one look at and go, oh yeah, I want to play that. I just can't wait to get my hands on it. The different ways Penny uses her yo-yo, the movement tech, the use of momentum, it just looks like a joy. And it's made by the Sonic Mania devs, so you know this is going to be a quality product. Penny's Big Breakaway is genuinely one of the games I am most excited to play in 2024. And if any of the devs are watching this and you're looking for people to help playtest or something, early build, demo, anything like that, you can always email me. That's all I'm saying. I'm just trying to help in any way I can. The Mario world is populated by a number of lovable characters who deserve their own games, yet Mario hogs the spotlight the vast majority of the time. And it's such a waste! Peach was lucky enough to get one single game ages ago, and I don't know why it's taken so long for her to get another, but it is finally happening. Princess Peach Showtime puts our dear princess center stage, and frankly, I hope Mario doesn't even show up at all. The whole thing is set up like one big stage play, with Peach donning different costumes to adopt a revolving set of moves, and I just think that's so clever. It allows Peach to explore many different roles and themes so she can make the most out of this rare occurrence. Now, full transparency, another caveat, I'm sorry, I'm not completely sold on the gameplay just yet. What we've seen is fairly simple, and I'm slightly worried that Nintendo may make the game overly basic in order to appeal to what they feel is this title's target audience. I don't want to make any big claims though, and I'm reserving judgment until I can play it myself. This should be enough to temper my excitement, yet somehow I am just so excited by the idea of a Peach game that I'm still super stoked to get my hands on it. I'm really just that curious to see how it turns out. I want to see what a modern Peach game looks like. I want to see what Nintendo does with the character. Time and time again, we sleep, we dream. We imagine a world where Nintendo chooses to acknowledge classic Paper Mario, where they decide to bring these wonderful games back so that a whole new generation of people can enjoy them. Then the morning comes, and we are awakened to this cruel reality once more. But not this time. If this is a dream, it is not one I have woken from yet. Nintendo is really bringing back Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. And not just giving us a simple port or an HD upscaling, but a full-blown asset remake. The visuals are simply gorgeous, and it seems that every bit of quirk and charm will remain intact, with nothing minimized, homogenized, or compromised. It looks like everything I could have ever hoped for, and more. I've played the game many times, and I'm definitely excited to play this version, but more than anything, I just can't wait for people to get their hands on it. I can't wait for Thousand Year Door to be the game everyone's playing, even if it's just for a week or so. I've spent so much of my career lamenting the direction the Paper Mario series has taken, and the release of this remake will mark a massive victory. Is there anything else I'm more looking forward to in 2024? Well, I can think of one thing. It's not a game per se, but it is DLC for a game that's really, really important to me. And I mean, I did not think it would take this long to get more content for Elden Ring. FromSoft normally releases DLC at a much quicker pace. They said it would take a while, but even then, I expected it in 2023, and when that didn't pan out, I was sure we would see it at the Game Awards. I was sure! But alas, we still have nothing more than a teaser image and a name. But that's okay. We will get it sometime in 2024. We don't know when, but it will come. And whatever form it ends up taking, whatever wonders it may gift us when that time comes, I want it! I want it more than anything. Elden Ring was one of my favorite gaming experiences of the last decade. No, one of my favorite gaming experiences ever. Of course, the DLC is my #1 most highly anticipated game thing of 2024. I mean, if Nintendo reveals Metroid Prime 4 for release next holiday, maybe we'll open up this discussion again. But right now, I got a fever, and the only cure is more Elden Ring. Oh man, and the fact that it's Elden Ring, the DLC for their other games, is already really good. But how do you even expand upon a game like this? It's already so huge and intricate. I cannot wait to see. I cannot wait. Elden Ring. Oh, Elden Ring. I can't get enough of you, baby. It's difficult being hyped for so many games. They occupy so much of your mind. Sometimes it feels like each is a satellite, endlessly orbiting your head, broadcasting cacophonous radio static, trying to defeat you using your own excitement. But don't worry, we can take on the new year together. In fact, let's start with some mental exercises. Okay. First, close your eyes and imagine that you're peacefully floating in some sort of astro lounge.